President Trump's reciprocal tariffs reshaping global trade, how do you assess their impact on the US-EU strategic alliance amid the escalating economic tensions?
Thank you for inviting me. The relationship between the EU and the US, between Europeans and the US, is deeper than the economic relationship. It's bigger than one person. Now what Trump is doing is engaged in an experiment. He is tinkering with a system that has been around for a long time. But the complaints about the system have also been old. Many times over the years, there have been complaints about the Europeans not being fair to the US. But the issue was that they're our friends and they're important. And especially during the Cold War, the issue was that they are the allies and you have to basically put up with it. Now, what Trump is doing is shaking things up. And this is a period that's going to be high in unpredictable outcomes. We don't know how it's going to play out, but I can guarantee you this, that Americans have always complained about the Europeans not being fair to American industry, how the imbalance in trade is not good. There's imbalance with China and there is imbalance with the Europeans as well. So there is this issue. And the Europeans can't really disengage from the US because the US relationship is deeper than just the trade aspect. There are the markets. It's a huge market, Europe for the US, and the US is a huge market for the Europeans. And there is a military aspect as well. Therefore, I don't think that there's going to be damage to the relationship that's lasting and that will lead to a rupture. But I think it will affect it for sure.
Okay, Mr. Ferzili, considering the EU's strong but proportionate retaliatory tariffs, how significant is this move in signaling a new era of assertiveness against global protectionism led by the United States? You've heard Dr. Al-Khatib and how he said that this may be a transition era right now.
Yeah, I find myself in partial agreement with Dr. Al-Khatib. I think as much as a trade or commercial war, I think it is first and foremost an ideological war. It's a war of ideas. And why am I saying so? Because the Trump White House has been using symbolism and ideology as much as commercial retaliations. For example, President Trump called today's announcement, he used the term liberation. And of course, the choice of word is not innocent because it's a reference to the Boston Tea Party. And after all, as a nation, America was born as a national movement, as a state, from a trade war between the colonists in Boston and the British capital, London. And the trade issue was about taxing tobacco and tea. Another word that Trump has been using is reciprocity or fairness. And there's However, the difference between Trump and the previous presidents, be they George W. Bush on the right or Obama and Biden on the center left, is, the Bush, Cheney, Obama, Biden people were somehow complacent or happy to allow Europe on the margin not to treat America completely fairly and to trade with the Europeans, knowing that it wasn't full reciprocity, that there were some sectors, and what's very important, there are a few sectors where the European Union or France or Germany or Ireland were kind of, playing a protectionist game, but America was kind of complacent and happy about it. I think the big change is what Trump is doing today. And to make a long story short, it's happening in a broader context. So, we're focusing on Canada, Mexico, the European Union, the UK. I think the bigger story here is the techno-industrial rivalry between America and China. I think this is the major geopolitical financial issue of the next 60 or 70 years. And I think what American policy planners, and I think it goes deeper than Trump, because if it was only, a quote unquote lunatic TV personality, blah, 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 and Trump is often described as a fringe character or not very rational. I think it wouldn't happen. It's happening because it goes deeper than Trump. There are policy planners in America, both within the Republican Party and amongst Democrats, called neo-realists, or we can also call them, Theodore Roosevelt nationalists. And these T.R. Roosevelt, neo-realists, Nixonians, both Republicans, centrists, and Democrats, they are on board and they support Trump. So it's not Trump alone, acting of his own volition. There's a